15 minutes moving away from the hour of 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for this morning edition of Policing with You.
Double up the season with the cable's new permanent internet packages. Have you heard that the cable is doubling up on their internet speed? Well, let me tell you about it. Double. If your internet speed is now at 35 megs, the cable will double that to 70 megs. 60 megs will now double up to 120 megs. 120 megs now doubles up to 240 megs. And 160 megs now doubles up to 320 megs. Double. All for the same price. Yes, customers continue to pay exactly what they are paying now for these incredible speeds. These new packages are also immediately available to new customers. Starting December 1st, there's no deadline, no gimmicks, no fear about new prices for 2023. What you hear now is what you get. Double. Nobody does internet like the cable. Always giving you more where it matters. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive.
The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the EU GCCA Plus project, funded by the European Union.
Okay, pleasant good morning to everyone out there in the listening audience, both local, regional, international, wider diaspora, on the internet and the radio. Welcome to another program of Policing with You. My guest in the studio today is Sergeant Antonio Brown, who works primarily out of our sister island in Nevis. Now, as we continue to look at the tactical units in the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, Sergeant Brown is here today representing the task force out of Nevis, and he's going to enlighten us as to his role, responsibilities, and the task force out of Nevis. Welcome, Sergeant Brown.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning to the listening public out there. As Superintendent Francis rightly said that I'm Sergeant Brown. I'm a member of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, attached to Nevis in the task force unit. Presently I have 15 years in the organization.
15, wow.
Yes, 15 years, and May of this year actually will make me sweet 16 years in the organization. I joined in 2007. And I am happy to be a guest here with you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have in the studio over a decade of experience in policing. We're going to jump straight into the question. Now, Sergeant Brown, I just asked. You just answered. How long have you been a police officer?
Yes, sir. As I said, it's 15 years.
Okay. Is this, being a police officer, is this something you always wanted to do as a career, or you had one or two other choices?
Well, to be honest, sir, honestly, I always wanted to be a police officer.
Always?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I remember growing up in the island of Dominica. I'm from Dominica.
Okay.
One of the things that inspired me as a young individual is that when I see police officers out there, they're looking sharp, respectable, and I always like the way that they the hospitality and how they help the public. So I always wanted to help and say why I want to be a police officer. So I have always endeavored to be a police officer.
Oh, beautiful. So it's nice to hear that from a young little boy, you got inspired by those things. I trust and hope that other young boys and young girls out there are looking at our police officers here and being inspired as well to join the force. Okay, what do you enjoy about being a police officer?
Well, sir, I enjoy a lot of things.
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
Okay.
Being a police officer has a lot of privileges. A lot of privileges. And one of the things that I enjoy doing as a police officer is helping people. It gladdens me to know that when I could help somebody to solve a situation that they may not be able to handle or solve on their own accord, and as a police officer I could help that individual or person out there. Once I feel happy. Also, as a member of the task force unit, it also gladdens me when I could remove illegal activities or elements out there from society to make it safer. These things make me happy. When I could remove firearms, drugs, ammunitions, the drugs are poisons to the youths, you know. So once I could remove these things in society, this gladdens me. This makes me happy. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's yeah.
That's one of the enjoyments. Of the
That's
police
one of
officer.
the enjoyments, and there are other privileges.
wanna tell us
Authority, but I'm not a person who likes authority. I prefer help and so on and so forth.
Okay, and some more privileges you get a chance to travel.
And,
Tell us some of the islands you've traveled
right.
as a result of the places you've been as a result of the police force.
Right. Well, I've traveled the world.
The world?
in regards to the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, they have pushed me. They have educated me in quite a number of certifications. I did a course in England, London, in forensics. So
okay.
I've traveled far as England. I've gone to Barbados. I have traveled all the islands through St. Kitts and Nevis Police Force. That's our sister islands with other operations and so on. Right.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're looking at, wow, I like how you put it, you travel the world. So as a result of the organization, we're seeing that you, and I know you're representing Nevis, and you're also representing the tactical unit aspect of the police force. And I know guys like yourself in that particular unit travel a lot of places. A lot of places, especially to conduct training, to be trained, to participate in exercises, things of that nature. And I'm glad that you're able to enjoy the training and take that training that you've used and bring it back to here in the Federation and make us a better place.
Right.
Now, we recently had Superintendent Travis Rogers on the program here. I'm speaking about the tactical unit in Division A, that is Bastia. Today, you will be speaking with us about the tactical unit in Division C, and that is Nevis. So can you tell us how this unit came about in Nevis, and is there a reason why it's called the task force?
Yes, sir. I'll give you a brief history as to the task force unit. The task force unit, it was established in 1999. It has 24 years presently in existence. The task force unit was formulated as a result of the increase of violent crimes on Nevis. It was also formed to combat against illegal firearms trading, the trading of illicit drugs, and to combat the increase of drug activities on Nevis. At the time of its introduction, it was also formed to fight against gang-related activities. One of the primary roles, or one of the primary focus, is that the task force does border patrols or beach patrols, and also we have a heavy presence on the deep water ports of entry in an effort to prevent illegal contrabands from reaching the shores of Nevis. At the time of the establishment of the task force, it was named the task force unit because it was joint with other law enforcement agencies. So that is where it became a task force, because we were joint with other law enforcement agencies. One of the agencies were Her Majesty's Customs and Excise Department. They were fully engaged or part of the unit at the time of its establishment. So there you have it for the task force. That's a brief history. Could go on and speak all day. But
okay, thank you very much for that brief history of the task force. I would go on to ask, does the unit, you indicated that when they were formed, it was a task force, which indicates that a lot of different units come together, defense force, customs, police, border patrol, different areas come together to form the task force. We have seen that it maintained that name.
Right.
Okay, so the question is, does the unit work along with other agencies in Nevis? And if so, what are the other agencies?
Right. The unit works along with other agencies such as the Her Majesty's Prison, Custom and Excise Department, the Health Department, also Maritime, and we also work hand in hand with the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force. Right.
Okay, beautiful.
And there's something else I forgot to mention. The task force, at the time of its establishment, it was supported by the U.S. Embassy, who gave the necessary equipment and tools to assist the task force in being an effective task force.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So it was funded and supported by the U.S. Embassy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Okay. To follow on, it is interesting. It's an interesting question because a lot of young folks who join the organization, young men and women, they have aspiration for particular departments. They come and they say, I want to work here, I want to work here, I want to work forensic, I want to work SSU, drug squad, task force. All those different areas, they put in their claim to work.
Right.
Now the question is, does a police officer need any special training to be on the task force?
Yes, sir. To be on a specialized unit like that, for example, SSU, a special service unit or task force, you will need some form of training. And there is this training named the basic. It's a basic military course. It's a 13 to 16 week course, also sponsored by the US. It's normally held in Barbados. That's where you get the classroom training, and then there is a next phase to it, which is a jungle training. So it basically equips you as like basically a soldier. So it's basically a 3 months course to become a soldier. So you're a police officer and you're like a soldier recruit. And I can remember training with I can remember training with superintendent here. We trained on the same course
together. We were both at the same course.
So it's basically a military course.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know you bring up that I could.
And that's 2011.
For the listening audience, yes, myself and now Sergeant Brown trained on the basic military course. We did Barbados and we went to St. Vincent, up in the mountains, and we did the jungle phase, and
it was fun.
Wow,
hectic but fun.
That was a lifetime ago. Trust me. But it's good to have those kind of experience and look back on it and how you could push the body and push the mind, and you can see how much your human body can actually withstand and go through and come out on the other end, and it makes you a different person, to be quite honest.
Right.
Okay. So having spoken about the task force, let's move on. We'll have one more question before we break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back we'll open the lines for questions and answers and comments from the listening audience, both local and overseas. My question is, let's take a look at your efforts, task force efforts last year, 2022. Can you give us an overview of the work done by the unit and the successes?
Well, sure. You could remember 2022. I could give you an overview as to our efforts. In the first quarter of 2002, we were successful in solving a human trafficking case where 2 persons were convicted and up to present serving time at Her Majesty's Prison.
For human trafficking?
For human trafficking. This is the case where 22 Haitian immigrants came on Nevis, on the shores of Nevis. So the task force was able to investigate and have a conviction with 2 persons in prison right now, serving time. In the second quarter, we were able to retrieve or remove 5 illegal firearms from the street from the streets of Nevis, along with an assorted number of ammunitions and 5 illegal weapons. That's a lot of weapons, right? During the year, in review, there were no large quantity of drugs found, but however, there were 5 matters relating to drug matters that were brought before the court, and one of these matters included possession of cocaine, where some of cocaine was found on an individual, and conviction was secured for that matter. So I believe we did quite well with our little contribution as a task force. Notwithstanding this little contribution, the police force on the whole has different departments, and when all the numbers come together, it will give you an idea as to the statistics as to where we are in crime fighting. But that's just our little contribution as the task force. It might look small, but it's really a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Especially to get these firearms, get information, and get them off the street.
Okay, before we take a break, GQ, one last question. The task force. Now, a lot of persons might have an impression like you go with your big gun and your big this. Is the task force an investigative unit as well, or do we just lock up? Do they just lock up people?
Well, whatever we do, we have to investigate as police officers. So it is safe to say that we are an investigative unit too, because if we go out there and we get drugs from individuals, we have to investigate that as individuals in the department. But where firearms are concerned, though, where the task force gets firearms out there, we have to call the next entity in the force, which is the criminal investigations. Those persons would, so to speak, take over and assist the investigations. Okay.
So Nevis work. I've always known Nevis have a tight-knit relationship with each other.
Yes,
the community and also the police force and different units. Yeah. They work even tighter than in St. Kitts. I was told.
Well, the word out there is that Nevis is a college.
It's a college.
If you want to learn about policing, you come to Nevis.
I'm not gonna say anything about that. GQ, let me take a break for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we have some questions.
Are you a woman living with at least one chronic health condition such as diabetes, kidney disease, hypertension, fibroids, endometriosis, cancer, PCOS, etc.? Looking to advance your career or start your own business, but finding it challenging to balance your health condition and your aspirations? The Empower Her project is looking for you. Empower Her is a workshop series aimed at improving the lives of women living with chronic health conditions. The series will address topics such as chronic disease, self-management, and self-advocacy in the workplace, skills needed for job promotion, internet skills, financial well-being, small business planning, freelance and entrepreneurship, as well as an introduction to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Empower Her is brought to you by Lake Health and Wellbeing and the Taiwanese government. This initiative is slated to begin in early 2023. For more information and to register, visit us at www.lakehealthandwellbeing or call 765-8702. And you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around. Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Pleasant good day. Thank you for tuning in. featured program of Policing with You. Welcome back. We have Sergeant Brown in the studio with us, speaking about task force in Nevis. GQ, if you have any calls, just indicate to me and we'll just jump into it. We have a call? Good. Pleasant good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Superintendent Francis and Sergeant Brown, your guest.
Morning, sir.
I'm calling from the United States. I'm calling to inquire. All the abuse that goes on in the United States with these task forces and black and brown people getting killed and murdered by the hands of officers. Is there many secrets in Nevis that you all have a registry or database of the complaints against the task force and the officer? Whereas the record are kept secret in the United States, and a lot of them do egregious things, and they get away with it. And see what happened lately when they killed that guy, they beat that guy to death. But is there any way simple you could keep checking the officer's record of complaints against them?
All right, thanks for the call. We will reply offline. You want to address that, or you want me to help you?
I will leave that for you to address, sir.
Okay, what's the position with reference to complaints against police officers? Remain the same throughout. If an individual citizen, even another police officer, have a complaint against a police officer, they would go to the Basti police station and ask for the Internal Affairs Department, which is headed by a superintendent of police, and they will conduct an investigation. And if the investigation needs be that it would bring about a tribunal, that is a court within the police force, for some reprimand along the police lines, that would take place. Or, depending on the investigation, if the investigation unfolds something of some criminal nature, then that portion of the investigation would be handed over to some senior investigators who would investigate that police officer and put the matter before the court. So the position is that the records are not kept secret, because if somebody is on investigation and get charged, if anybody get charged, the public relation officer would notify the general public that the person has been arrested and charged, be it a civilian, be it a police officer. So the records, to answer your question, the records are not kept any secret, but we cannot speak about an ongoing investigation unless it reaches to an arrest stage. Thank you very much. GQ, any more calls? No more calls at the moment. You're free to call at any time. The lines are open. Sergeant Brown, what were some of the challenges experienced by your unit last year? Challenges by the task force.
Right. In 2022, we had many challenges. Some of the challenges as a division or as a police force on a whole that we face was the big bad pandemic, COVID-19. Now, we had to police Culturama during the pandemic or COVID period, and we had to do that under restrictions. Now, these restrictions would have added much more work for police officers on a whole, not just the task force unit, but it would have added some measure of work for us. Now, we also had to police the mini Olympics as a next big crowd again. There's challenges with different persons under regulations and stipulations. We had to police that properly so that people don't get sick and cause problems in the federation. Also in 2022, we had unplanned events. Unplanned events, unforeseen events such as elections. And, you know, Nevis had their own local elections too. So we had a double bubble, so to speak.
A double bubble
of elections, right? So these were some of the challenges that we face. There are a few challenges with the pandemic. That's
Thank you very much. But I know from experience. Okay, let's take the call. Yes, Pleasant, good morning. You're on the air. Policing with you.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioner of Police GQ and Mr. Ulrich and Sergeant
Superintendent Francis and Sergeant Brown. Thank you.
Okay.
My God.
Yeah, this is PWOP Police Without Pay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a little simple question. Do you all think enough police have been deployed on the streets, especially past year, which has a lot of business places that makes money on a daily basis? That's the question for that. And if we do not have enough police deployed on the street, my question again is why? Because in certain instances you have, certain places you have like 7 police deploy one place. And I'm going to say it, Mr. Robert Bradshaw, he had 1 policeman around him when he was the premier. And that police, when afternoon time, he gone to the station and Mr. Bradshaw driving in the night. Because Mr. Bradshaw used to hang out with Mr. Simon Boywan gas station every night. And when he finish, he jump in the car and he alone drive and go home. And they say that St. Kitts is what you call a Christian society. Well, if in those days we had less churches in the Christian society, but now we have triple time the churches we had in them days, but why one individual must got 7 police guarding him? Thank you very much. Those are the questions I ask. I listen up here for the West.
Okay, sir. Okay, I want to thank you very much for that call and comment. What I would say is that the times have changed. That's one thing we have to bear in mind. Thank God for the late Robert Bradshaw times. Those were different times, and the times have changed. You would know back in Robert Bradshaw days, we had less television, if any, and less cable and things of that nature. So our society is heavily influenced by other external entities and other external societies, which cause a change in the dynamics of the youths and the dynamics of even the adults. And with reference to the comment about police officers being deployed, based on the strength of the organization, I know the high command of the police force have taken time out to strategically look at the deployment strategy and implement a strong deployment strategy. Yes, I do think there is enough police officers deployed in the city center where the business places are, because we not only have police officers on the ground walking, we do also have police officers patrolling in vehicles and also out there in plain clothes, and we have response units there to respond if anything elevates. So the thought process is that the High Command would look at a coded method if it's a high crime area or a high time of the year where activities are centered around the city center, like Christmas just gone, then more police officers will be channeled in that particular area. Now, if for some day like a normal day like today, people would be going out and patronizing the business places. Now, the amount that would have been channeled there in the Christmas would be a little different. So it is a strategy that is taking place. So as at the moment, yes, enough police officers are deployed in Bastia, save and except for the fact that there are other officers on standby to respond, and there's all the patrol units out there. So the High Command is taking these things seriously. That's it? No more calls? No more calls.
Hello?
There's another call. Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. You're on the air. Sorry. Police with you.
Thank you. Let me tell you something.
Yes,
sir.
Sir.
That person called earlier about Bradshaw this and only used to have this. There's a very, to me, it's sweet to me and it's relevant, that before 1995, only stones used to fling and bottles used to pelt, and I forget what the other thing is, but it goes on to talk about, more serious things, right? Because yes, I remember 1995 when Chef used to have cases of bottles and so pack up there, and that's where they started trying them from, when they had this thing in 1995. So things are different. Only stones used to fling and bottles used to pelt, and the rest of the jingle start to talk about how more violent it is. So he should consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that call, caller. Do we have another call? Pleasant good morning. You're on the air. Policing with you.
Good morning to Superintendent Francis.
Morning, sir.
and to the other guy for the GQ. Good morning.
Sergeant Brown.
Good morning.
Sergeant Brown, yes. Now, my input to you all this morning. I have nothing against people coming from overseas and joining the force. But we got a lot of young, intelligent young men here too. And I don't know why they refuse to come in the police force. Because some of them, they're educated, they got a subject. And they out there doing nothing, so they can't find nothing to do. I want to know if you all go around and encourage them to come to join the force. I had a little cousin of mine. I tell him must go in the force because he got the height and everything, and he got the education. And he decided to do different things. I want to know if he's smoking of the weed and the drinking of the alcohol. That these young men some refuse to come in, join the force. You know, to protect their own people. Protect their own people. You understand? These young men out there just turn themselves into alcohol and drug addict, smoking. And they could do better for the country. Alright then, I will listen to you after.
Okay, thank you very much. See that Sergeant Brown is from Dominica. I would answer this question. Times have changed. As we've indicated before, I want to thank individuals like Sergeant Brown who leave their families back in Dominica and St. Vincent and take the risk and come out to places like St. Kitts and join the police force here. Now I would add that when recruiting strategies take place, we would see billboards all over the place, we would see ads all over the radio, and programs like this would encourage the youth, both male and female, to join. Now, I would not be in a position to indicate why they don't join. I would say that times have changed, and St. Kitts is not the only place. St. Kitts is not the only place. We reach out to the other areas of the Caribbean and the wider region for officers when we need such things. We have places like St. Thomas, we have Cayman Islands, we have Tortola. They too reach out, and we have officers from Barbados who go to those places. So Barbados from time to time would have to recruit from other areas. We have all these things happening all the time. So we not only have persons from Dominica, St. Vincent, we have persons from Guyana in the police force, we have persons from Jamaica in the police force. So the police force is very diverse. Very, very diverse. Yes? Another call? Good. Pleasant good morning. You're on the ear? Police with you?
Police without pay is making a correction.
Correction.
Bottle and stones were not thrown 1995. They were thrown 1993. That's the correction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the correction, caller. However, I would like to add that I think the other caller who indicated bottle and stone was primarily trying to push the point that, things have changed. Things have changed around here. Yes, please. You're on the ear. Police with you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. And before I get into anything, I just want to say thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to know if the police establishment generally are mindful of the creeping up of illegal happenings on the streets of Bastia again. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
And I want to know if they are mindful of something called the Streets and Sidewalks Vending Prohibition Act, and that problem seemed to have been addressed a couple of years ago, or at least a year and a half ago, and it seems to be creeping up again. Is the police mindful of this?
Caller, thank you for that call. What I would like to say that yes, the police is mindful of what is taking place. We work along with other agencies, we work along with Ministry of Health, we work along with other ministries, we work along with the different ministries across the government to determine how to approach things, because we are dealing with human beings. Specifically when it comes on vending, they had several acts on the books, and we are dealing with human beings who have to make a living. So there are times we have to enforce certain things, and there are times because of certain conversations or whatever is taking place, we would seek not to enforce certain things. But I would like to indicate that yes, the police is aware of what is going on. Yes, please. Another call. Beautiful. We're having calls. Pleasant good morning.
Hello.
You're on the air. Policing with you.
Hello, GQ. Superintendent Francis.
Yes, please, sir.
I'm an older man. I'm 75 years old, and I was born in the Federation. Ever since I was young people from St. Kitts never wanted to be police because they used to rotate the police from island to island, the Leeward Islands. And most young people, including myself, I was always, when I get older, wanted to travel. So young men in St. Kitts and Nevis, when I grew up, they never had much interest in the police force because we didn't want to be left sent to different islands. And then I migrated to St. Thomas Virgin Islands and then the United States. So we never had no interest in law enforcement when I was growing up. Very few.
All right, so thank you for that brief history from a personal standpoint. Thank you very much. Any more calls, GQ? Beautiful. Let the calls come in. Pleasant good morning. You're on the air. Policing with you.
Yes, good morning again. I was a little disappointed with your response just now to the question that I asked, because I can make the comment that during the time when those laws were being enforced, people were making a living still. Everybody was making a living doing the right thing. So to say that in certain circumstances you may not enforce, I'm a little disappointed with that, because trust me, whenever you give an inch, the people will take an L and a mile. And an ambience of disorder will always result in the perpetuation of further disorder. So if you are saying that at times you will seek not to enforce, I'm a little disappointed with that, because trust me, during the time when it was being enforced, I repeat, people were making a living and were being patronized by people who know who their different vendors were. Nobody was losing anything. But just because a few unscrupulous people would seek to get an advantage on those who would abide by the law, and they are allowed to get away with it, then everybody will soon jump in. And as I said, watch the creep up. Thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for your call. GQ, any more calls? Okay. Yes. Okay, let's move on to ask you one more question before we wrap up. Moving forward, what are the expectations for the new year, 2023?
Well, the task force, our expectations, well, so we endeavor to continue to work hard on the fight against criminal activities in an effort to make St. Kitts and Nevis a safe place for all to live and work and even do business in a safe manner. We will focus on community policing in an effort to gather intelligence so that we can have a wider percentage of crime solving. We plan to be much more proactive in our efforts in crime fighting. We will increase our patrols. Also, we plan to do more vigorous search warrants, execute more warrants. On a whole, we will increase all what we did last year in a very strategic manner so that we could win the fight against crime.
Beautiful. GQ, you have any calls? We're going to take probably the last two calls. Pleasant good morning. You're on the air. Policing with you.
I was listening, but tell me something.
Could you speak a little louder, please?
Yes, I was listening to your program,
yes,
but
sir.
I think I heard someone mention about recruitment into the police force. What are the requirements actually for joining the police force?
Okay. You have another question? Or that was your question?
No, well, there's a follow-up. You see, because what happened, we know that the young generation now, they smoke a lot of weed. And I don't know if that would be a hindrance for them getting into the force. Or if there is a program, a policy where, you know, the police try to take everybody, whether or not they're smoking weed, and try to sift out and coach and train and wean these people off of this drug so that they become good police. I don't know what you all have in place. But I guess that the youngsters would shy away from being a police because they know that their body got in this substance and they might fail. So tell us what you got so that the young people would understand that they can be helped to get in the police force. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Some of the basic requirements to join the police force. There's a particular requirement of subjects. I think there's about 4 subjects. Yeah, you have to have at least. Must not have any criminal records, and you must not have any ailments that will prevent you from functioning as a police officer. Some persons have different ailments that would prevent them from the outset, based on the rigorous job that a police have to entail. Those are some of the basic requirements. There will be another recruitment drive taking place very shortly in order to try to gain the amount of persons that is needed to start the next police training school, the recruitments at police training school, and all the requirements would be circulated in the media, and interested persons would be asked to join. GQ, any more calls?
No, but I have a question for you from the social media.
Yes, sir.
There was an incident a few years ago involving 2 young police that this individual reported to the police station, and the police I reported to told me at the time he turned it over to internal affairs, but I didn't hear from anyone about it, and I was wondering, and it was to go and to ask for an update. I guess this is supposed to be off here. I can give you the information off here for the individual for you to reach out to.
Off here?
Yeah, because from reading now, it now appears to that this question wasn't meant to be on air. Yeah. But I'll get the number to you after the program.
No problem. But what I would like to say about that to the general public, the listening audience, is that it is a twofold. Yes, the police is required to follow up. However, if you have a matter and you think that the police has not followed up on a matter, you can ask a question, call and follow up and ask what is the status of your report or status of whatever the situation is. And the police is duty bound to give you some form of response and let you know how far along the investigative chain that investigation is and what is the likely end result. Any more calls, JQ?
No, that seemed to be it for this morning.
Sergeant Brown, Task Force Nevis, do you have any wrap-up for the general public? Any closing comments?
Well, I'm thankful for you inviting me here. Yes, so just want to tell the public, stay safe with whatever you do, especially business owners. Be vigilant out there in your efforts to secure your business place. That's basically it for now, sir.
Okay, Sergeant Brown, I want to thank you for taking time to travel from the waters of Nevis, over in Nevis through the waters to St. Kitts.
No issue.
To participate in the Policing With You radio program. I want to thank you very much for your efforts. I want to thank you for your service.
Yes,
I want to thank you for the sacrifice you've made from the family in Dominica and come here to serve in this beloved Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. GQ, I want to thank you very much for bringing there the management and staff of ZAZ. I want to thank the High Command for supporting this radio program time and time again. I want to thank the listening public. I've heard a few new voices. I want to thank you very much for calling in. I want to thank everyone for listening, even those who didn't call in and tuning in Policing With You. I want to encourage the general public, as Sergeant Brown said, to be safe. I want to also encourage the general public to take advantage of installing CCTV cameras in and around your business place, in and around your home. It is there to protect you. It is there to protect your neighbor. It is there to assist the police officers in fighting crime. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much and see you when I see you, JQ.
What you think about justice? What you know about love? Why all the segregation? All our but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one.
Are you a woman living with at least one chronic health condition such as diabetes, kidney disease, hypertension, fibroids, endometriosis, cancer, PCOS, etc.? Looking to advance your career or start your own business, but finding it challenging to balance your health condition and your aspirations? The Empower Her Project is looking for you.